see it go off.
What is going on, Philly sports fans? It is Big Al here on another Philly Friday Frenzy doubleheader. That's right. You get me. We talk some sports. We talk Philly sports, as well as the Fightin's final, bringing you the final game of tonight's Phillies matchup, which is the first game of an odd four-game weekend series, meaning it ends on Monday instead of the typical, Friday or Thursday through Sunday. The Phillies are up 2-1, and woo! I mean, literally, Bryce Harper almost took a ball to the face. They're up 2-1, top of the seventh right now. It has been on the pitcher's back. Phillies have their opportunities, as we've said many times in the past, but they're definitely looking like a different team right now. Right now, we'll see how this holds up. It's still going on, and what a difference a week makes. I mean, let's break it down. I got to eat a little crow with my first comment. First comment is the Sixers are playing a lot better than I expected. How many times have I come on here or and discuss with any of you guys in private or in person or whatever and said to you, this Phillies team, this Sixers team, it's going to be a gentleman's sweep against the Celtics. Like, that's what I said. And I felt that way. I'll be honest with you. I felt that way even when they go, they looked really good, and then they won that one game. Like, it's still going to be a gentleman's sweep. It felt that way. Now they forced a game 7, which people are looking forward to watch. People are getting sucked back in. I'm getting sucked back in. I want to see if they can do it. They can move to around 2, and the healthier Embiid gets, the more the team works as a cohesive unit. That'll be a big telltale sign for this team. The Eagles, we're going to talk a little bit post-draft because we really haven't got into it too much. We talked last time. It was just the end of round 1 into round 2. We see what it's looking at. We see how this is kind of folding out together. The Phillies, again, are just a completely different team right now. We are in the now Don Mattingly era. And right now, if they hold on to this, he'll be 4-0 on the series. 4-0 in his career as a Philly. So, that's good. They're getting not just a win streak, not just wins, but a win streak and playing better baseball for the most part. The kind of baseball we've seen, still not perfect, but much better than we were witnessing when they looked like they were about to be out of even playoff contention before the end of May. So there's that. And then the Flyers. I mean, a week ago, the Flyers on a roll, up 3-0. Then they lose game 4. Okay, not a big deal. They lose game 5. Okay, now the pressure's starting to come on the Flyers. And here we are. Game 6 was a hell of a game. I still think my butt cheeks are clenched from it. Had to go all the way to OT, and a Cam York shot. Dan Vladar stood on his head. And now we are staring down the barrel of a round 2 matchup against the Carolina Hurricanes. When, giving the Pittsburgh a little life, which was, to be honest with you, got a little nerve-wracking for me. Good evening, elephant in the room, my man, my friend. How are you doing? All the sports topics are on the table tonight to talk about because, again, what a difference a week makes. That's kind of like my motto for tonight. What a difference a week makes. I had this Phillies team, like I'm dreading doing a Fightin's final. Dreading to do the Fightin's final. Now I feel like I'm not sitting there going, oh, I'm so happy, but 12-19 is a lot better than 9-19, and what could have been worse. I thought they were going to hit 25 losses before they hit double-digit wins. And the Flyers, got make me a little nervous. The Sixers, I really just thought they were out of it, and the Eagles and the A.J. Brown drama, and we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm going to put this hat. It's not tin. It's silvery looking, but it's almost a little tin hatty tonight on what I think is going to happen with the A.J. Brown situation. Let's talk about that now. Let's get into that. But I said all the topics are on the table. I'm going to let you guys ask questions, even if it's off topic of what I'm talking about. I want to get your feel right now, like how we were on a pretty low. We didn't think much of the Sixers. The Flyers scared us a little bit, giving life to the Penguins. The Phillies looked like they were just going into the worst slump of all time for the Phillies, and it was going to make the Eagles season look like it was 172 miles away. And wow, Brandon Marsh just took a hit. This pitcher does not have the control he needs. That's Harper almost took a shot to the face, and Brandon Marsh, top of the seventh, 2 outs. He's on first. Harper's on third after getting a double. He's down. He's trying to run it off, but he's holding his right forearm. That's not what we need. Like, too many injuries going on for the Phillies right now when things are kind of going good. And Brandon Marsh being still one of the better hitters. At least it hit him on the elbow. I mean, at least the pads there, but that still hurts. That's the kind of thing that could, maybe it doesn't hurt tonight, but it's going to flare up tomorrow. Yeah, Elephant, it did not look good at all. Trainers out there, he's pointing not so much the main part of the elbow, but kind of like right here where the bicep into the elbow meets there, kind of the meatier part, which may be a good sign. That might blow up later, though. I could definitely blow up later. He looks like he's trying to stay in. He's not taking his helmet off. Mattingly and Figueroa are out there with him, just kind of checking him out. So, and the trainer, of course. But, that's, like I said, Bryce Harper was almost, knocked out with a pitch two hitters ago. This guy's a little wild. I mean, like, this is something that has to be kept an eye on. I mean, I don't think it's on purpose, but that's 2 out of 3 pitchers. One almost got a little chin music. Back to the action. So, what is Al's conspiracy theory? So, again, the Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel thing, I think there's going to be much more that comes out of this situation, and as there should be. I mean, kind of tampering in my eyes. I know it's a little different with sports than, with credibility and all that stuff with reporters and their sources, but this thing's been going on for years, apparently. And who's been the biggest proponent of A.J. Brown's coming to New England? A.J. Brown wants to come to New England is Diana Rossini, and she's sleeping with Mike Vrabel, who talks to A.J. Brown, apparently. I think more could have came out of this, but it's been a little quiet on the NFL front because they don't want to deal with it. My tin hat theory, tell me I'm nuts, is that the NFL is kind of letting the Eagles and New England work this out, and that is a base hit. Mundo Sosa scoring Bryce Harper, making it 3-1 in the top of the seventh. Well needed. It'll give a little cushion here for the Phillies. Hopefully they can pour on more. Maybe one more hit, make it 4-1 before the end of the inning. That would be good to see. But I wonder if they're kind of allowing them to police the situation and leave it to Howie to turn lemons into lemonade. And he did turn lemonade into lemon, which Mekhi Lemon, I know, joke, old man dad joke, sorry, but it happened. It came out. It happens to the best of us. But I wonder if they're internally allowing them to handle it. And they're saying, listen, we're not going to make a big stink of this. We are going to trade you A.J. Brown, but you're going to give us what we want. And maybe that's 2 first-rounders or a first-rounder and a first-round pick. I know a lot of stink has been made about a first-round, like their first-round pick to the Eagles. And the big one was their first overall pick, number 28, Caleb Lomu, which was on top of my list for the Eagles. But maybe their second round pick, Gabe Jacas, however you say his name. He's 55th overall, and he was an edge rusher. 2 areas we really need to improve upon. Or maybe they have a player on their team, a good safety that they want to bring over here. Don't know, not sure. But my overall feeling, I don't know how tin hatty it is, but are they allowing the Eagles and the Patriots to police the situation? I mean, and here's the beauty of it. Like, I've heard a lot of people go, because they're upset with the situation and they're upset the way AJ is kind of forcing himself out. I know people are trying to give people a hard time on social media, like AJ Brown's not a bad guy. We're all out making him a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a bit of a selfish guy. He's got a diva mentality, which most big time wide receivers have, and replacing AJ Brown's really hard. Like it's anybody, even like Lemon could be a great player, but he may never be an AJ Brown. Replacing AJ Brown will be super difficult for the oh my God, Bryson Stott with a towering home run that only went right over the fence, but high in the sky. I thought it was going to be caught with a clutch 3-run jack, 6-1 Phillies, top of the 7th. Wow, just opened the game wide open for the Phillies. Well needed for the Phillies. Well needed for Bryson Stott, and two hits tonight for Alec Boehm. We're going to talk about that on the Fightins final a little bit. And Elephant, great question. I don't know. Like I asked, we again, me and you talk a lot, especially on Phil's show. We go back and forth. I asked the question. It's a legitimate question. Is it okay to be not that? Listen, I've been a Phillies fan my whole life, and for the most part, it's been bad baseball at times. For the most part, like I mean, most recent future, and in my early 20s, mid 20s, yeah, that was when it was good. But other than that, baseball was bad in this town. Is this the same team? Time will tell. But was it the message of Tomper? And again, I'm gonna get a little bit more into this in a little bit, but what maybe he feeling with his writing on the wall was hard for him to get past his feels, and his feels were kind of like polluting the locker room. I don't know. And I hate to blame Tomper that much. Players play, but whatever. I mean, I know Don Mattingly they were doing bunt drills and things like that, like kind of getting back to the basics, like we've all said. But maybe it was just a change for a voice and a guy who has the clout and Don Mattingly as a player and a manager. So is it the same team? Time will continue to tell, but they're doing a hell of a job right now. I mean, if they can take 3 out of 4 this weekend, then what's that make them? Like 3 out of what do we say? They're 12 and 19, I think, right? 12 and 19. So if they win 3, it'll be 15 and 20. And they're only 5 games out of 500. I mean, that's the big thing right now is to climb back up to 500, right? Because if we do that, we'd be 15 and 20, and in Miami would be 16 and 19. So we would be kind of climbing back up the standings in the NL East. So, this is a really big series to kind of get yourself right. The Braves are going to be hard to catch unless the Braves kind of go on a little spell. I don't see that happening right now. I'm not sitting there saying lose one game, but they would have to lose 4 and 6 in the next 10 games to really give us even a fighting chance to get back even close to them. But just get back up to that second place spot and then let time help you out. But yeah, no, Elephant, it's a question we're going to have to ask and we're going to have to discuss. So the pitching change did go through with Bachar coming in for the Miami Marlins, still with 2 outs. Boehm is up. We'll talk again more about that. But back to the Mekhi Lemon, the A.J. Brown situation. Are they allowing the Eagles and the Patriots to handle this internally so the NFL doesn't have to get involved? The NFL doesn't have to get a blemish on there. I don't think they want to fire Vrabel. The Patriots are good again. That's good for business for the NFL. Allow the Eagles to get what they want out of it. And again, take Lomu. That's this round's first pick at June 2nd. So you'll have him this year and next year. And here's my thing is, and like I said, people are really upset about how people are getting on AJ Brown. And listen, he's a diva. Like it's a problem. It's annoying, but he is really a good player and he's helped you win. If we weren't winning and he was being like this, it'd be a lot of a different story, but it's not in my eyes. And that's my thing. So in my eyes, are they going to do that? And it can only be a plus because, listen, the Patriots do well. We're going to get a high first-round pick. If we do well, it's another high first-round pick. So that's 2 high, top 25 to 30 first-round pick. They can package that up and maybe move up a little bit in the draft next year to kind of go after some more defensive players because a lot of the discrepancy, Rob How are we doing today, buddy? The discrepancy that people had with this draft, it was very offensive heavy because the only last 3 picks, which were late round picks, were defensive picks. The rest of it was all offense, offense, offense. One of them being a quarterback. So a lot of people are a little annoyed, but again, there's still time to come. And Howie isn't always. We all know Howie isn't done just because the draft is over. It doesn't mean this is your team. Anything can happen, but are they allowing them to police themselves? And I would take Lomu in the next round's first, because even if they're not good, this thing can get in their way and can really cause a problem in New England. So that means it just sweetens the draft pick for us. So would I prefer to keep AJ Brown? The answer is absolutely yes. Now, you will have a ton of wide receivers you're going to have to do something with. Trade them away, package them up, trade them away to other teams, or release them, before in spring training. They got, with AJ Brown, Lemon, Smith, Wicks, Hollywood Brown. That's just the start. That's 5. There's still another 5. They're not going to carry 27. They carry a couple more wide receivers than they typically do, because we know that's kind of Sean Mannion's forte. He learned that a lot with Green Bay and under Sean McVay too. So that's kind of like his MO. So keeping AJ Brown, it's a win-win for the Phillies. That's why I'm not getting like emotional about it. Trust me, there's times AJ Brown's BS has annoyed me, and I've said it. I'm on the record saying, like, he, during the season when they were feeding AJ Brown the ball, they were still losing. When they were spreading the ball around, they were winning. So there's something to be said about that. So are they allowing the Eagles to police this situation with the Patriots internally so they don't have to make a big fuss about it with the NFL? Because this can't look good. It's a little unprecedented in the sense, tampering and stuff has happened, but this type of tampering, and these guys denied, and completely lied the entire time. The wide receiver room would be deadly if AJ stayed. It would be but Elephant, it's like having 10 sports cars, or 3 sports cars, 4 really high-end cars, and 1 or 2 good cars, right? You can't drive them all. So you have to spread the ball. And if AJ Brown's beef is, I'm not getting the ball enough in this lot, in that wide receiver room, what are you going to do with that? Like, he's definitely not going to get the ball enough. And that is why I think people are really on top of him, because people, and I can be honest with you, I kind of feel like this a little bit. He got his ring. He's ready to move on. He's ready to go somewhere else. Not that he doesn't want to win another ring, but it's more about AJ stats and Hall of Fame career, which I feel he's already a Hall of Famer in my eyes. He won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He's won 1. He having 1,000-year seasons almost automatically. Even after last year, how much of a total shit show offensively this team was, he still got 1,000 yards. Him and Schmitty, it makes no sense. So if that's what he wants out, let him out. Like I said, I think the locker room likes him, and he's a good guy most of the time. He just can't help himself. He's just like one of those people who have to make their dirty laundry public. That's the problem with AJ. If he's disgruntled, and it's, to be honest, for selfish reasons, and maybe part of it is, he's not selfish just for part of it is he doesn't believe in Nick Sirianni. Maybe he doesn't really believe in Jalen Hurts, or maybe it's a combination of all the above, or maybe it's self-serving. He gets what he wants wherever he goes, and he's used to getting it, so why would he change? He came here, he got paid, he won a Super Bowl. Devontae Smith needed to get paid, and what does he do? He gets a raise as soon as Devontae Smith, because they're trying to make him happy. So I think AJ Brown is gone. Rob, I think so too. If you said, hey, I'll put about $1,000 on it, I'm going to bet $1,000 he's gone, right? unless something just falls through. But somebody's going to take him. I mean, you're not going to give him away for peanuts either. Like, it's got to be, I'm going to say a haul, but it's got to be close to it. Two firsts, and again, this Diana Rossini thing again. The tin hat scenario. Are they using this to their advantage? And I think so. I think Howie Roseman is being uber Howie sneaky and allowing the situation to only benefit us. That would have been a good catch from Marshawn. That's like a deep box there, man. Like, they're usually not that deep. Damn. But that's kind of my take on the Eagles and the whole AJ Brown. You know, we all felt like, and I still think it's really hard to see me holding them that many wide receivers with AJ Brown, but Mekhi Lemon situation. And you know, I never like loved Jerry Jones except for like when he keeps making mistakes and makes the Cowboys worse. But when he came out and like publicly said, it goes, if I didn't trade with people that I didn't like or had a rivalry with, I wouldn't trade with anybody. It's pretty funny if you think about it. That was one of the like, funnier, like smarter things I heard him say, like Jerry Jonesy type thing. Still hope he sucks and continues to screw things up. Overall, I'm sure Cowboys fans right now are pounding their chest. Yeah, if I was Howie, I would jack the price way up because I would have all the leverage at this point. And that's the thing is, like, maybe they're using this to their, because like in the end all be all, even if Diana Rossini wasn't like this didn't happen, say, just like she was just saying this. It wasn't her sleeping with Mike Vrabel. You know, I would still think this AJ Brown trade is going to happen. Now, would it be definite with the Patriots? It would still feel that way. They want him. They want to pay for him. And you know, if he wants out, that get high value while you can for him. But now that this happened, it really does put the Howie and the Eagles in the driver's seat, which is cool. Like, they're cool, but like it just really does help the Phillies when, in essence, the situation really, let's get off my nuts. If Vrabel and Diana Rossini are doing the wrong thing in their world and they're messing up their relationships, that's their problem. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't affect me or you or the Eagles, except for where she was getting her information from, her old bed pal or her cuddle bug there, Mike Vrabel. So, yeah, I think he uses this to his advantage and gets 2 first rounders, and I believe one of them will be Lomu, which would be huge to get Lomu and have Bell. I think, you know, getting a chance to work with him, I, again, would love to see with Salin more than with this guy because I know nothing about him. But getting those 2 big guys, bookending and getting ready, maybe they swing in and play a little guard here and there. They're to back up Lane if he gets injured. I mean, that's the one problem. These guys are getting older and injured, and it's hard to keep them healthy. So it's a conversation to be had, and I would take that. Lomu in your 2027 first round pick. If AJ wants out, that's fair. Maybe even try to get another later round pick and a 6th round pick. You know, just it's like we caught you red-handed. I'm gonna just walk through your house and take everything off your shelves, pick through your silverware. I'm gonna take it with me. Yeah, total leverage, Elephant. Total leverage. Little G, I did 18 years in Special Olympics. Well, congratulations, Little G. You make it sound like a prison sentence when you say it that way, but no, I get what you're saying. And go Eagles, my friend. I'm glad. That's amazing. Special Olympics is an amazing program. So I'm all about that. And congratulations. My next little topic with you guys is the Philadelphia 76ers. And if I had a bowl of crow right now in front of me, I'd be eating it. Gentleman's sweep, I said. Gentleman's sweep. That's what I thought it was going to be. I really did think that it would be kind of just them running away with it. And I really lost faith in this Sixers team, which they earned, you know, to be honest, they earned. But the way they played game 6, I could say that was the most fun Sixers game that I've watched in a very long time. Like fun, well-oiled machine, behind the back passes, just different things that you haven't seen from this team in a while because they either haven't been healthy or been able to play because of the suspensions or something all at one time and playing at a high level like Paul George playing much better, VJ Edgecombe, um, Tyrese Maxey doing what he does. This one game is the Celtics were not hitting threes like they typically would. They can't sit there and hope the Celtics go through the same thing in game 7. But the pressure's on the Celtics, guys. I'm just going to throw this out there. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Flyers too, Rob, in just a minute. But go Flyers. Let's go, brother. I'm excited. And tomorrow, for those who don't know, this is why I got 3 TVs. I'll show you my setup. I'll put a copy of it up here. I think I have it, a picture of it I can show you. Tomorrow, the Flyers or Sixers start at 7:30 and the Flyers are at 8, I believe. Yeah, Sixers 7:30, Flyers at 8. And they have, so if you don't have 2 TVs or a TV and a device or an iPad that's why I love YouTube TV, to be honest with you, because you can watch on any device. So if you want to keep your eye on the Sixers game and you don't care about as much as the Flyers game, you could sit there and look at look down at your phone every so often and just kind of catch up. Or if it's a commercial, you can quiet one down while you look at the other, that kind of thing. But it's interesting. It's going to be interesting watching tomorrow. You're pretty much half hour in between the starts. So this is why having a multiple TV setup or a multiple device setup, I'm going to have to find my picture here because I would love to show you my setup. I think you guys would enjoy it. In my little man cave, as my wife likes to refer to it as. But, the Sixers have made me want to actually tune in and have them, ready to go. And want to watch, just want to watch this team and get excited. And are you excited if they get to, I don't know, to what's it called? Game round 2, I guess would be the best way of putting it. Would you be excited? I know that's kind of been their forte. Get to round 2 and then drop the ball and that's it and blah blah blah. Does round 2 move the needle for you as a Sixers fan? Elephant, if the Sixers win game 7, how far do you think they go? It's a great question. This team's staying healthy, Embiid's healthy, and he's willing to play under the basket, and they're willing, he's willing to play in the paint. Because here's the thing is, I know he likes to hit his threes, but he'll make more points in the paint because you have to foul him. You have no choice in the matter. When he's healthy and he's in the paint, you can't not hit him. I wish he would just get that because I guess when he gets tired, he kind of just falls off a little bit, or he kind of just sits back at the top of the key, which is just, aggravating it all get out. But it is what it is. Okay, I think I found a picture here too. But I don't know, man. Getting past the Celtics would be a big push, and it would turn the NBA playoffs kind of on its head. All right, let's look at the bracket right now. NBA bracket. So Sixers would go on to play the Knicks. Knicks just kind of had their way with the Hawks. It is what it is, but the number 7 over beating up on the number 2, or not beating up, but winning over the number 2 would turn it on its head, and you have number 7 go versus number 3 in the Knicks, and getting past the Knicks will be a hard sell, but the that could be, a big swing for the Sixers. It would be a hard if they get to the Knicks and get past the Knicks. Sky's a little bit the limit at that point in my eyes. I mean, I think the Magic and the Pistons are beatable, but the Cavs are a really good team. The Raptors are good, but they don't scare me in this sense. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it'd be really interesting to see how this plays out, to be honest with you. I don't think they win 6W. What do you mean they win 6W? You don't think they win this game 7? You think this is it? Like it was a little fool's goal, which you could be right, Rob. I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but they do have a lot. The pressure's on the Celtics right now. The pressure is on the Celtics. So here's the picture. I got it right up here. So it's not the greatest picture, but I had it saved on my computer. This is my 3 TV setup. Only 2 of the TVs on. I have the big one on there. So, the Phillies and the Sixers and the Flyers are all playing at the same time. I can have one on each TV. I'll mute. Usually what I'll do is I'll mute the bottom TVs and keep the big TV with I'll probably put the Flyers on the big TV and keep an eye on it. But like if the Flyers go into, intermission and the Phillies are playing and the Sixers are not, I'll mute the upper TV and unmute one of the other ones. And it's a good little setup for these kind of moments. It makes it interesting. I'm sure I'm going to hear from some of my friends that are coming over. I typing mistake. So okay, so you just don't think they win Game 7, Rob? That's what I'm guessing, right? Yeah. So I mean, listen, the NBA, the bracket is wide open for the NBA for the Sixers. It's all in their hands right now, and like I said, the pressure is truly on the Celtics at this point to win because you allowed this team to come back. You were trailing the series 3-1, and you won 2 straight in a row, and you're in an elimination game. That's huge. That's huge. So the one thing to keep your eye on is Jason Tatum. He left the court for a little bit during the game. Jason Tatum was experienced left calf discomfort. He was downplayed the injury as stiff. His status is still up in the air because he came back a lot quicker. The Sixers injury report is just Cameron Payne and Broom. Not really moving the needle at this point. It's just how healthy is Joel Embiid going to be? Because he still came back pretty quickly from that appendectomy. So, and they're also slated to pick the 22 overall pick in the 2026 draft. Be interesting how they do again if they can get another young difference maker, or what they do overall. But listen, the Sixers are playing with house money at this point. Nobody expected much of them. Even biggest fans didn't expect much. Maybe they said, "You wait, maybe we'll get lucky," but it's the pressure's on the Celtics. The pressure is absolutely on the Celtics. Now, let's change gears a little bit, and we'll come back to it, and we could talk about whatever you guys want. But I got to talk about the Penguins series. I got to talk about that last game, OT. Like I'll be honest with you, it didn't feel like it was that game was going to swing the Flyers' way at all. Like that really didn't feel that way. Like they were struggling to get shots on goal at one point. It was pretty close shots on goal for the most part of the game. Like by the third period, the Penguins were getting their opportunities, and Dan Vladar stood on his head, like absolutely stood on his head. Defense in front of him were laying on front of pucks. Like it was a show. It was a butt puckering time. That's what we call it. Like that's the ones when you lose, it hurts. When you win, it's just amazing. There's no in between. And of course, Cam York fires that one, wins it. The place utterly explodes. The Flyers just became every one of us throwing their stuff all over the place. York threw his stick into the crowd. Dan Vladar, his reaction when that goal was made, thank the Lord, like, oh my God, thank you. Carolina is going to be here's my thing about this. If they could somehow beat Carolina, because that's a tough thing. If I had to bet not with my heart, I think Carolina wins this series. It's going to be tough sledding for the Flyers. But if they can figure them out and hold on, let me just point this out. The road to the cup becomes a little different. Because I have Carolina was kind of slated in to be the representing in the Stanley Cup this year. So if you can knock them off, just saying. But let's talk about. I get a little heat on social media, on Twitter especially. Pittsburgh fans, can we just talk for a moment? Just for a moment. I mean, listen, I know us Philly fans are not perfect. I'm well aware of that. And in the overall scheme of things, especially over the last 25, 30 years, the Penguins have a lot more success in the NHL than the Flyers have. Let's just call it for what it's worth, right? You know, we were in the last 26 years, we haven't been in the playoffs a lot. We won one Stanley Cup, but lost. And other than that, really the opportunities in the playoffs have been minimal. 2020 in the bubble. But they have owned the Flyers, like not even just from the Flyers standpoint, but success rate, they definitely in the last 25 years have a huge leg up on the Flyers. We know that. We're well aware as Flyers fans, that's the way it is. But talk about, you might call us scumbags or whatever you want to call us, but you guys lose with no grace at all. I mean, the fact that you were holding on for 2 more games and you made it a game 6 out of it was endearing to you guys, but at the same time, a little house money-ish, kind of like the Sixers are right now. You kind of fell down 3-0 to the Flyers, but Philly's a disgusting town. Philly, it's no good for the NHL. Philly this, Philly that. I had a guy attack me on Twitter. Like, he goes, "Go ahead, Philly. You can keep living in your scumbag town and blah, blah, blah." And I tweeted back at him. I said, "Listen, bud, I don't know if you have blinders on or whatever. Pittsburgh's not that great of a city. It's 1/10 the size of Philadelphia. It has less crime because there's less people, but it's still grimy for most parts of the city. I've been in Pittsburgh a lot of times. I had a friend who lived out there. I've covered the Pirates and the Phillies out there a lot. Like, I've been to Pittsburgh quite a few times. The word pit is in their name because it is the pits, all right? Like, it's not a great, it's very hicky steel town. Like, a little gruff, kind of like Philly is. But, you guys act like you live in San Diego or some beautiful, picturesque city. You live in Pittsburgh, bro. Outside of the Penguins and the Steelers, you got nothing. Palmieri Brothers sandwiches blow. Let's just put it out there. They brought them out during the draft, and I'm watching them eat them. I'm like, these guys hate this. Hate these sandwiches. They're not even, listen, I'm not even telling you like all right, Wawa sandwiches. They're not great, but they feed a need, right? I can say that about most sandwiches, right? Like, it's really hard to screw up a good a sandwich if it's not make it not edible. Palmieri Brothers sandwiches blow. Like, it's disgusting. Like, I don't know what they put into it, but it's disgusting and it's not good. And Miami just scored. Who's pitching right now? Bolin. He is not doing well. They might have to pull him sooner rather than later. I mean, I guess you got 2 men on, so if the guy comes up the bat, hits a home run, it's a 1-run game. So I don't know. Maybe they let him go one more, try to force a double play out of him. But I mean, he got out of the way of the ball and didn't even try to make a play for it, and could have tried to knock it down and keep all the runners on base instead of anything. But whatever. Yeah, give it to Stott for keeping it from going in the outfield and making it worse. But looks like Kelly Cobbin's coming out to talk to Bolin, so I don't know. I guess they're not making a pitching change. I love watching guys wear hoodies in Miami. I know it's cooler in there because they're in a dome, but whatever. But Pittsburgh fans, you guys act like you're classy people. You're not. You are not. I've seen plenty of videos online just after this situation. You guys are no different. F you Flyers. That's all we heard when you guys were in Pittsburgh. We responded with W's. So get off it. You guys have had a lot of great success. Good for you. But guess what? That time is up. And you've got a lot of guys make big decisions to make as Pittsburgh fans, is the Crosby era over? I hope not. Let him stick around. Whatever. Let him play till he's 90. I really don't care. My point is, don't act like you're the class. You put the ass in class, and you guys did not lose gracefully. Like you did not. It's just call for what it is. You're little crying, whiny babies pounding your fist because mommy took your ball away, and you want to go home. Very upset. Wow, wow. I mean, you guys wonder why we call him Cryberry Crosby. Listen, the Penguins and Phillies have been a rivalry, not just because they're in the same state, but it's just always been a rivalry, And for the most part, the Penguins have owned that rivalry. Well, let's call it for what it's worth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit there and play it up or anything. I'm not an idiot. But just like the Phillies and Mets, just like Dallas and Eagles, Boston and the Sixers, so it's always been a big rivalry. But just go with a little more grace next time. Don't be such a bunch of whiny babies. Like, I usually don't call people out on that. I've seen plenty. Listen, if it was the other way around, the Flyers lost. Here's the difference. Some people will break the Penguins. Oh, you got lucky, or the refs helped you. And trust me, they tried to. But if the Flyers lost, we'd be yelling at the Flyers. We'd be yelling at this team about how they acted, how they got up 3-0 and let everything down. We'd be more mad at the Flyers. We're not sitting there looking for excuses. Do you think like the NHL's gonna go, you know what, you whiny little bitch Pittsburgh fans? Guess what? You're right. You guys whined enough. Flyers lost, you won. Flyers, you're out of the playoffs now. Did you think that was what's going to happen? To make you go to bed at night, sleep a little better, fluff up your pillow a little bit, make yourself feel like you did something. I don't know. Maybe the tears on your pillow just add a little layer of moisture. I don't know. Whatever it is, get over it. You lost, and just be more gracious about like the outpour on social media and like just attacking Flyers, post about just being excited and all that stuff. It's kind of classless. It's not kind of. It is class. And listen, if it was the other way around, I'm sure there'd be plenty of going on. But just if you're the better team or you're the better people, you wouldn't have done it. You guys were no better than any bullshit you've cried and screamed about the Flyers. Just throwing it out there. But I mean, listen, Dan Vladar has been doing a hero's job, and if he continues to play, this could be a good series. I don't expect the Flyers to get up 3-0 on the Hurricane, but I expect a gritty fight. And I'm excited to see what Tocchet can do going up against former Flyer Rob Brindamore. Listen, it's going to be some tough sledding for the Flyers, but I'm really excited to see how this plays out. And it starts this Saturday, like I said, at 8:00. That's cool. Like, so start off with those Sixers, watch it, have the other one ready, and then boop, turn on the Flyers game. What time is the Phillies game on Saturday? That's a great question. Phillies tomorrow. So they're 4:10. So they'll be finishing up by the time the Sixers are starting. So that works out, I guess, a little bit. So you don't have to watch 3 things at one time. But who are your guys? What do you guys need to see? Who do you want to see step up? I would like to see Mitch Koff step up. He just, whatever it is, he made a lot of strides coming out of the All-Star break, or the Olympic break, I should say. And it just seemed like he kind of dropped off maybe the moment. Maybe the moment got a little big for him. It's interesting to see how they're going to play things out. They talking how the off season will work out, like, because they have a log jam in some areas. With Porter Martone coming up, log jam in the wing section. What are they going to do? Are they going to trade people? We'll wait for that after the season. But this offseason is also going to be very exciting. Looks like the Phillies are going to win tonight. Well, Rob, let's not count that just yet. They're making a pitching change. They did get 2 outs, thank God, and only scored 2 runs so far. But there's still a guy on second, guy coming up the bat. 1 home run makes this a 1-run game. But if hopefully everything holds up, let's hope everything holds up, because not just having a 4-game winning streak for Don Mattingly and his team, like, just guys are hitting better. Like, you're seeing an improvement in Stott. You're seeing an improvement in Bohm. Even the bullpen team looks like the team we kind of expected to see. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. You know, with this Phillies is it just, the fresh change from the manager, or what changed to right the ship? So while we're talking about the Phillies, what shakeup occurred? And remember, we were this close to getting Alex Carrera. If he wanted to keep continuing, it wouldn't be Don Mattingly right now. It'd be Alex Carrera, a guy who literally got fired for the same damn thing. Yeah, they had to stick with Don Mattingly because they had no other choice. Some of the small things is Don was doing, like, bunting and work, doing different small ball defensively and offensively things that kind of, like, I guess they weren't doing. And maybe that was something he was sitting back and watching, like, hey, Tom, maybe you want to go back to basics with him. And he's like, nah, it's not. These guys won't respond to that. Maybe, I mean, listen, I really think Rob Thompson lost touch with his team, and it started to show. And maybe it was best it started to show now before it became a huge problem. I mean, it became a big problem. Don't get me wrong. Still 12-19. If you win tonight, you become 13-19, and still 6 games under 500. But this is this is what you see what this team is made of. If they on paper should be a good team at the very least. I'm not going to sit there and tell you a World Series contending team, but it's good that they have the slump now, and they were able to not sit there and wait for the whole month of May and allow this hole to get so deep that it become impossible to dig out. That it would take a whole month win streak just to get to 500 again, because that's where they were heading. And I mean, we talked about this last week. I said if the only way the Phillies could even try to save Rob Thompson's job, and even though I think by Friday the decision was already made, to be completely and utterly honest with you. But if they swept the Braves somehow and looked like the team that they're used to, maybe they would have kept Rob a little bit longer. But that wasn't happening. I mean, the Braves just made mincemeat out of the team, and it's like night and day. Like, I feel like that was another world, another time that we were watching, and just watching this team right now, I feel like it's a whole different group of guys, whole different time frame. It's big that Zach Wheeler's back, and it'd be nice to continue to hold on to this and get him the win. Because that would be 2 wins for him since he's back. Question would be, is Zach Wheeler come back to his Zach Wheeler status? And that'll be a huge boost. Another huge boost, Johan Duran, with his oblique injury, is nearing a return. He threw a bullpen session on Thursday, so that's huge. Kyle Backus was placed on the 15-day IL for left elbow inflammation, retroactive to April 27th. And here we go. So, Rob, this is why I said we don't count our stuff yet. They're seeing ice single right there. Scored another run. They're only down 2 runs now. Tying run is coming up to the plate. So let's not say these kind of things a little too prematurely. But the return of Johan Duran would be Kyle Backus is out 15 days from April 27th. So he's already a few days into it. They selected a contract from AAA, Trevor Richards, to bring him up. Don't know much about him. Not going to see him pretend to. So hopefully you don't have to use him unless, they're really up or really down on a team. JT was on the 10-day deal with back spasms, but he recently started taking batting practice and doing agility drills, which is a good sign. Yeah, listen, I'm like, this is just, a little more of a nerve-wracking scare. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm just saying let's just not count our chickens just yet. That's all. Um, did Don Mattingly won you over? Is this like you guys? I want you to answer. Is this a blip on the radar, and will they shine, or will they kind of lose their shine a little bit? Come on, sorry, Alvarado's just letting up big hit after big hit right now. I got guys on second and third now, so we got to get it out here. He looks like he's trying to force the ball across the plate. Like, I think he doesn't have his velocity tonight, and he doesn't know what else to do with himself. He's really just a little. Just look, he's leaving it up in the zone. He's just trying to heave that ball. Like, he's just heaving, and these guys are putting it in their well placed spots. Like, it's they are now one swing away from taking the lead. 6-4, 2 outs, guy on second and third, going out that little conversation to kind of give Alvarado a breather, I guess. They got it. He has to go at least one more hitter, I guess, before they can make a change. But that's if they have anybody up. Interesting. Very interesting. Madeline seems to be happy to be managing, so he's growing on me. Yeah, for a guy kind of said he didn't want to do it, Elephant. He didn't want to do the conversations. He didn't want to do the press conferences. He didn't want to. Yeah, he didn't want to do it again. And maybe because he's on a 3-game winning streak, he hasn't had to have a bad moment yet. That might be the reason he's happy right now. This team loses 2 or 3 games in a row. He might be like, yeah, go call Alex Carrera, see if he wants to come back. You know what I mean? Let's just hope Alvarado can get out of this funk. All right, 0-2. Let's see if he can strike out Christopher Morel. That would be this will be a huge strikeout for the Phillies if they can keep him down 2 runs and get to the 9th inning that way. That would be, and we need Duran back. Like, it's huge. But I mean, listen, struck him out. There you go. Big whew. Made things interesting. But Don Mattingly, listen, the guy's got clout, right, guys? I mean, he's got clout. Let's see how many games can the Phillies. Let's see how many games can the Phillies win with Mattingly. Well, listen, they're going to lose a game sooner or later. Are you talking about like in a streak in a row? Like, you get the 4, 5, 6, or 7 or more, or are they going to, implode and lose 5 more games? Like, that's the question. Like, again, we're going to have to wait till his 20th game before we can make any assessment of any sort. Even then, it's still a little early. But again, he looks kind of like, go back what Elton was saying. He looks a little comfortable, I guess would be a good word. He's not just happy, but seems comfortable in the role. I mean, on paper, it's a good team. And maybe he saw what Rob was doing. Either he didn't say, or Rob wasn't listening. And again, I'm not trying to be rude to Rob, but whatever he was selling wasn't being bought, I think. Like, to be honest, like that, like if we really wanted to break it down, whatever he was selling, they weren't buying. And I don't know if it just got to a point where, like, every year, like this year's just worse than other, like where he knew he's kind of like, I have to prove myself. The team got off to a bad start. And it just kind of kept, cascading down, and it got away from him. And maybe he lost faith in himself. Maybe he lost faith in his players. Maybe his players lost faith in him. But it was just time for a change. Like Rob Thompson, don't like Rob Thompson. Personally, I have no problem with him. I've dealt with him. When I was covering the Phillies for the last few years, up until last year, Rob was a great guy. He didn't care who you are or what if he knew your name or not. He would answer your questions. He answered my questions, and even like shook my hand a little bit and said, because he saw that, it's a kind of cutthroat industry. If you're a new guy, they think you're there to steal the limelight or the spotlight. Like that's our room. That's our press box. Like you're just a visitor. Shut your mouth and don't say anything. And there's some guys who act like that. Some guys are great. Don't get me wrong. But there's plenty of guys who kind of have this. This is my place. You shut up. You're a pose or whatever. But he was very kind to me, so that's why I'll never say an ill word about Rob as a human being. I mean, he was a good coach at one point, obviously. I mean, 22, 23. I mean, you had regular season success in 24 and 25. There's the postseason really started to become in question late in the 23 and stuff like that. And I was hoping he would learn from that, but he didn't. And that's why it's time for a change. People were telling you Rob should have been gone after 22. You don't take a team that was about to fall off a cliff, change a coach in the middle, at the end of May, beginning of June, go on a quiet run and make it to the World Series, and be like, oh well, we should fire this guy. No, come on, it's mismanagement of your organization. Like it's listen, you don't have to say you ever liked him or you thought he was going to be the right guy. That's great. If you didn't think he was going to be the right guy, that's fine. But we didn't think Charlie Manuel was going to be the right guy until then. He proved that he can't be. Hey, Bruce, what is going on? My favorite Harper. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe the guys will get inspired to get Mattingly a ring. I hope the guys get inspired to get themselves a ring. Because, let's be honest. Kyle has one. Bryce doesn't. And that's going to be the one thing that I think Bryce Harper is based on how the MLB does things, he'll get into the Hall of Fame with or without a ring. But that's one thing will always be kind of hanging over his head if he doesn't win a ring by the end of his career. And he's not getting any younger, and he knows that. Yes, in a row. Hey, man, if they can hold on to this, that's 4 in a row. If they could take 3 out of 4 this weekend from the Miami, so that means you swept San Fran. You take 3 out of 4 from them. I'll take 6 out of 7 wins any day of the week. Any day of the week. I mean, maybe not in a row, but in a chunk of time, this team needs it. Was definitely time for Topper to be oh yeah. I mean, I think Topper even knew. I even said, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of allow him, or he even goes, it's time. Whatever it is, it's not working for me in this team. I'm not giving up on them, but maybe we all gave up on each other. Either way, I give the guy a lot of credit. He did a press conference after the fact, which most guys would be like, see ya. I'm out of here. I don't work for you anymore, so bite my butt. I'm out of here because I don't have to sit here and undergo this Spanish Inquisition if that's what you guys want, because it ain't going to happen. But he didn't. He kind of stood in front of the cameras. He answered the questions. He was a great guy. Just a really good guy overall. And, I sent him an email when he got, because, we had their email from covering the game. And I said, he didn't respond back, but I don't know, maybe he doesn't even have access to it anymore. But I said, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry things had to end that way for you. I'm sorry I had to be one of the guys cheering to have you gone. It's just not I'm cheering to have somebody fired because I want somebody to lose their job. I'm cheering because, or I'm rooting for them to let them go because it was just time for a change. And that's the nature of the game. When a guy loses a locker room, and that's what we talked about with Nick Sirianni, that in 2023, was it? We said, did Nick Sirianni lose the locker room? Because I said he should be fired if that's what happened. If it was just an anomaly where this team just fell apart, started sniffing themselves, he was sniffing himself after making the Super Bowl in 22, yada, yada, yada. Of course, he came back the next year and won a Super Bowl. But I was saying the same thing about Nick Sirianni. I always feel if a coach loses a locker room, it's almost impossible for them to get it back unless you completely wash out the locker room, which is one of the hardest and most impossible things to do. But no, it was time for Topper to go. Whatever the message was kind of falling on deaf ears. Just whatever it was. It wasn't working for this team. And it wasn't maybe because the message changed. It wasn't maybe as much as that, but as much as what we've noticed, what we've become frustrated with this team over time is, the managerial decisions, especially in the postseason. And, maybe they're tired of, like, hey, you stuck by Nick Castellanos too much, because for all the grief Nick Castellanos gave Tomper, he stuck by him. I think that's why Tomper almost kind of I'm done with this guy. I stuck by this guy the year before when he wasn't hitting. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a baseball bat for a half a season, when anybody else in the right mind would have sat him within a month for a game or two just to watch, but not Rob. And listen, it paid off a little bit. He helped kind of ride this team to the postseason a little bit at the time, but sometimes you can be too nice or too caring, or I don't want to say that. It sounds terrible when you say it that way, but too much of a player's coach to make a difference and for everybody to buy in, because it's we've been like maybe in a youth organization or something. The team won one game out of 10, and you're sitting like, you guys really were a good team this year. Just a couple bad plays, a couple bad ball bounces away from being a much higher win percentage, and you're sitting there going, okay, coach, if you say so. It might have just gotten to that point. Like, his message has fallen on deaf ears. Yeah, Rob, definitely time for him to go. Al, we are on fire since we got Mattingly, and I just think it's the change. I mean, the good part about it being Mattingly, in my eyes, to be completely and utterly honest, is he's been here at least this season in the beginning where it was going bad, and he could have been watching like, Rob, that's not going to work. Rob, you might want to think this through more. And maybe he didn't say anything. He was just letting Rob be Rob. Maybe he wanted this the whole time. Maybe he knew it was going to happen. He was just waiting, biding his time. Crossed his fingers at Alex Carrera, turned the thing down, turned the job down. Whatever it was, that product he was selling to this team, it died. It died with us a couple of years ago, but this team, whatever they bought into, no longer were they willing to purchase. And it showed in their effort. It showed in their frustration. It showed in their play. Now, can it keep going? And like I said, the theme tonight, Bruce, for was what a difference a week makes. Like I said a week ago, the Sixers, at least I thought, were gentlemen's sweep away. The Flyers were scaring us the way they were kind of letting the Penguins show some life. And the Phillies were a dumpster fire of sorts. I feel that was nice of you to send me an email. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if he gets any more. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they monitor it and then pass it along to him. I really don't know, to be utterly honest with you, Bruce. But in that industry, as I said, there's a lot of guys who will just step on you, wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire, because they because you can talk the game, you're a new face. The way I got there was kind of an unorthodox style, because typically, you go to school and then you go to work for a newspaper or some sort of major media outlet, and you get in, and or you've been there for a while, even if you work for a podcast or a different writer of sorts. Keller just put a man on base. That's awesome. Hold on, I missed it. I just saw the guy taking the base. Yep. God damn it. Like, this is what's going to happen here. 4 straight pitches to a walk. Now the tying run is up at the plate. Like, this is going to be a kind of like it was nice to watch some easy breezy games in some ways, but they've been doing it all in walk-off style, but they need to hold on to this, because they got to show them that even if the chips are down, and this is what this team has to prove, even if the chips are down, that they can hold on. And maybe trust your defense behind you, Keller, because if you're not hitting your spots, the last thing we want to do is walk guys right in. I think Topper was mentally burned out. Yeah, Rob. I mean, listen, I think it was a combination. I think kind of like it probably came into the season like, he tried to like, all right, ready to tackle this season. And the team's like, all right, yeah. And it didn't start that way. Another mound visit by Kevin Kaufman. What a name. Trying to settle down Keller. They don't have much choices here. He has to go three hitters. So the very least, he can load the bases before you bring on the next hitter, and then that guy's going to come in. That doesn't spell really good idea here. But yeah, I think he was mentally burned out. I think, Rob, you're spot on with that. I think once it started falling apart, it was just like, I don't even know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this mess of a situation. Keller has not been a good signing so far. No, I mean, I think he had like a couple games in the beginning of the season where he was okay, but after that he got shell shocked. Like he might have had a handful, like one or two games that he was half decent. Oh, that was a strike. That was a close strike. All right, that was a close strike. I'm gonna not try to talk through this whole thing, guys, but it's like one of those ones where I can't keep my eye off. But real quick, because we will be moving into the Fightins final once this game does go final, and we'll find out. But anything else? Like, let's give you guys last moment. Let's talk some Flyers, Sixers, and Eagles. Like, were you guys happy with the draft, or do you feel it was too offensive laden for the first 6 rounds? Because it was all 7th round picks for the defense. They got a big safety in Cole Wisniewski. The one guy, the defensive tackle from Nigeria, UR Bernard, is just a beast, but he is a pet project. He is not going to be. I really doubt he sniffs the field this season. And then Keyshawn James Newby, an edge from New Mexico. So, different options here. For this team, but a lot of the gripes in the defense or in the draft was the lack of defensive players. Again, still can be something how we can do something about. I feel now that Topper's gone, we will play better. Yeah, no, Bruce, I think so. I hope so. At least what we know they can play too. Not just this team that just got. I mean, they just got bent over a knee and spanked every night. Like it was almost like it was enjoyable to them, or maybe they wanted Topper finally. They figured this is the best way of doing it. Whatever it is, it was not enjoyable from us as a Philly fans standpoint. Rob's giving an A+ in the draft. I'm saying a B. I'm giving him a B. I like a lot of the. I like a lot of the draft. Did they punch him out? Did they punch him out there? Yes. Oh yeah, he did not like that call. I don't blame him, but. Oh well, hell's bells. I'll take let's see this in slow-mo here. Borderline. It looks like he held up, but that was borderline. That was a tough call, but hey, it is what it is. I'll take what we can get. You feel the Eagles draft was good? Like I said, I think it was good. I mean, you obviously hit. I mean, I don't know. We know nothing about any of these guys, but you got a top tier wide receiver, at least a really good slot receiver. Depending on what you do with AJ, Eli Stowers, I like him. I know he's from Vanderbilt, but I like his build. I like his speed. I mean, having a 6'3" and 3/4, 239-pound big tight end who can run 4.451 40-yard dash. That doesn't suck at all. Like not at all. So I do like what they were able to do with the draft, and then of course, Bell. Bell was a big guy. He's a little bit of a project though, and again, I'm going to go back. I think Stout would have been the difference between a very successful season and not a truly fully successful season for the Eagles, and I'm hoping it doesn't hold on to linger Too bad. All right, another 3-2 count. I mean, Keller's making this. He's making this nerve wracking. He gets this strikeout here, or can hit him into a double play. That would be gigantic. Al, I hope we can trade AJ. As I feel bad. I hope I feel he is he's bad for the team. Even has the skills of even if he has the skills of a superstar. Yeah, I talked about this a little earlier, Bruce. He's not To. He's not a cancer in a locker room type situation like some other guys have been. He just punched him out. That was a strikeout. And he was tossed out. Good. Throw him out. That was a strike. I mean, it was right on the line. It's where you wanted to be. And I don't want to hear that wasn't a strike. Like, let him challenge it. Let him give him one of our challenges, because that was a strike. So that was huge. And now he's going to come out and waste our time with 2 outs because he wants to defend his guy. Just throw him out and move on with this game. Come on, man. He's delaying the game. Sorry. And he just got tossed. They just tossed the Miami Marlins manager. What's he going to now? He's going to get us his piece because he just earned $10,000 fine or whatever it is they pay. Nowadays, I don't even know what it is. But Bruce, I don't think he's that bad of a problem. He just has to air his dirty laundry out. He is a bit of a diva, and I think all top tier wide receivers are divas. Some of them just can't handle it. Like that's the difference. Some people just can't handle it. That's a strike. It's on the line. That is a strike. Sorry. But he just has to air out his dirty laundry, like on social media. And that's where his problem is. And maybe the guys are getting a little tired of it. Or, maybe they'd rather back Jalen than back AJ. I don't know. I really don't know. But here's my thing is, for other people there to, he is asking for this. He's not being a dick or demanding it, but he asked for it. And I think through his people, he's asked for this for a while now. This is not a thing that just happened in this postseason. Like, he's I think a little worried about his legacy and his numbers, and I think it's showing. Joe Hale, my friend, what is going on? Hopefully, in about real quick. Oh no, that's a hit. Garcia got the ball. Hopefully, they're going to score again. It is now a 6-5 game. The tying run is on first. The winning run is on is up at the plate. I don't know. I don't know if they make a pitching change here. Do they have anybody to go to? Because I don't know if Shugart is available tonight. I don't know if with a doubleheader the other day. I don't know who is available per se. Just getting done work, Joe. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Hard-working guy you are. I agree as he always seems to cause problems, and I think he's more important than the team. Again, I don't know if I can go that far and say he's more important. He feels he's more important than the team, but he is selfish, and he's going to worry about his numbers now, and maybe he's just not happy with the kind of offense that the Eagles are running because it's not indicative of the kind of what he wants to do. And and fine, if he wants to leave, he wants to leave, but you're not getting out of here for a bag of balls either, man. Like, we're gonna make money on you. Do the Flyers win game 1 tomorrow? That's a question and a half. That is a question and a half, my friend, and I sure as hell hope so. I mean, the guys what are your guys' feelings on the Flyers series against the Hurricane? Like, is this going to be a 7-game series? Is this going to be a blowout on either way? I mean, I would love to see them go in Carolina and at least steal one. Will the phone lines be open? Well, Mike, I don't know just yet because we are hopefully one strike away from going into the Titans final. So that will be a game time decision, depending on how much longer this thing, because they can't go much further out. I mean, one well placed base. Oh Jesus! Wild pitch just moved the runner from first to second. So now one well placed single will tie the game. One home run will give them the win. This Keller is going to make us sweat this one out. And he bounced that ball early. That was a wild pitch. Sorry. Did the best he could do to get in front of it. Joe saying Flyers in 5. That would be amazing, Joe. I really think it's going to go further to 6 or 7, but you wouldn't get me very upset. Looks like Crawford's going back. Game over. Holly freaking Hallelujah. Mike's saying Faircon is good, but I feel like we can win if we play good D and make Caroline frustrated. Yeah, I mean that's the best way of beating anybody, right? I'm on my way home from work. Mikey Pap, be safe on your way home. Flyers and Carolina is going to be a long series. I think so too, Rob. But with that being said, I gotta change a little gears here, because it is time for the Fightins final, because it has gone final here in Miami, and the Phillies hang on to win even despite Brad Keller's ability to try to not allow that to happen. We need to get some guys healthy and fast. And like I said, coming off of this back-to-back game really kind of probably made guys like Shugart unavailable. But with that being said, let me hit the music. Philadelphia likes to win, but does not like to make it easy. That is for sure. Welcome into the Fightins final. For those who have been joining me the whole time for the Philly Friday Frenzy, thank you for hanging on. And that's 4 in a row. That is what we call a win streak, ladies and gentlemen. It is nice to see and nice to say. And I'm kind of on a win streak too. That's 2 in a row for your boy. Actually, 3 in a row for the last 3 calls that this guy made, staying on top of this little mountain that I'm living on right now, as the Phillies have now gone 4 in a row. Don Mattingly has won 4 in a row. Bryson Stott had a hell of a night tonight. We're going to talk about him a little bit. Alec Boehm had a hell of a night tonight. All good things we need to see. Bullpen made things a little bit more difficult than it should have been. The Phillies are 1 point up at 6-1, and thank God for those insurance runs that came in the 7th, because it was nerve-wracking. It wasn't easy, but 6-5 victory. The Phillies have now eked their way up to 13-19, so hopefully getting one step closer getting to that 500 level, because that's kind of my goal right now for the Phillies, is that 500 number. If we can just get back up there, I don't care what everybody else is doing, just get back up there. That's what I would like to see. Keller is just doing his best Jordan Romano impression. Yeah, he really is. They might need. I mean, could you imagine if they have to let him go and eat his money? Seriously, that'll be a third guy this year they have to let go and eat the money, because you ain't gonna be able to trade him. What the hell? What's up, Al? Helen Keller pitching tonight. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Did you see Boehm's parents may have stole his money? Yeah. So here's the thing: is somebody posted this, and it's kind of well put. Like, it's almost like it was purposeful. Boehm had a heck of a game, or 2-game back to doubleheader, or whatever you want to call it. And literally right before this game starts today, they dropped an article that the Boehms, Mr. and Mrs. Boehm, want them to drop the charges, and this is an internal family issue. In my eyes, if he's suing you, it is not an internal family issue. Obviously, he tried coming to you and probably said, "Did you steal money from me?" And you said no. He has, at least he thinks he has proof, and he's willing to go to court for it. So that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But let's get into this. Let's look at it. 6-5 victory. Miami is now 15-17. We are 13-19. They're second in the East. We're fourth in the East. If that matters to you right now. But let's look at the box score. Kyle Schwarber led off today. No Trey Turner tonight. They gave him a rest, I guess, because of the back-to-back doubleheaders and I don't know, whatever. Other guys played in it too, but it is what it is. Kyle Schwarber was the DH today, but he was in a leadoff spot, and he went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts on the night. He struck out all 5 times. That's why I don't want him in the – that's not the other reason. He doesn't need to be in the leadoff. Could anybody else be in the leadoff? I would have rather seen Crawford slide into the leadoff at that point and just move everything down at least a notch. Like, it is exhausting. Marsh was our 4-hole hitter until Dylan Moore came in because he got hit by a pitch. His elbow probably started to swell up. So there's that. Hopefully we have to keep our eye on that and see if they have any news about his injury. I hope the Phillies win like 20 in a row. They're going to need to. I mean, just let's be honest. If they win 20 in a row, they become 33-19, which would be really would be great. But if even they like just to be honest, if you win 7 in a row right now, you're just a game over 500. So that just shows you the tough sledding. You would have to win this entire series in the next series just to get up to that point and sweep. So that means you have to go through a 3-series sweep, one of them being a 4-game. That's a tall order to ask. Al, great show. I don't think I'm going to make it through this show. The old man is getting tired. Hey, Rob, this old man is getting tired too. I appreciate you as always. Please don't be a stranger. Al, you feel you're right as bone. Is nice to feel his parents probably stole it and hope to get it back. Listen, whatever the situation is, that doesn't help, and it really has got to be a mind mess for him. Harper was 1 for 4 tonight with 1 run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Adolis Garcia was 1 for 5 tonight with a strikeout. Marsh was 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored until he had an exit, and they put Dylan Moore in left field, who was 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. Amundo Sosa, the big hit tonight with 2 runs scored, 2 hits with 1 run scored and an RBI as well as a strikeout. Stott, I would say my player of the game tonight outside of Zach Wheeler. 1 for 3 tonight, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs off that 3-run jack he had, and 1 walk. He's got his ERA above the Mendoza line at 2.11. Bohm was 2 for 4 tonight with an RBI, so he's right behind him tonight for me. Crawford was 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a walk. And Marchand was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. JT couldn't come back faster. For all those people bagged on JT, suck it, because we need him back. So in 36 at-bats, 6 runs scored, 9 hits, 6 RBIs, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts. But 5 of them came from one guy. That's Kyle Schwarber. 50% of your strikeouts came from one guy in your lineup. That's no bueno. Yes, you will see me on Sunday, Rob. I'm okay. I'm okay as dirt and not tired. You're old as dirt but not tired. Hey, man, I get 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th wins. My wife laughs at me. She goes, "You should be exhausted." I'm like, "I am." She's like, "Well, why aren't you sleeping?" I'm like, my brain won't allow it. But let's talk about the pitching tonight. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run earned, one run earned. Wheeler went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, only allowed 1 run that was earned, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Looked really good tonight. Kirkering came in, did a great job, went 1 inning with a strikeout. Boland came in, went 2/3 of an inning, but he let up 2 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of them earned, and a walk. So he kind of fell apart. Alvarado came in. He didn't make it easy, but went that 1/3 of an inning, let up 2 hits during that time, and got a strikeout to end it out. But Keller came in, and it was a butthole puckering time, kind of like the overtime in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, in Philly against Pittsburgh for the Flyers. In 1 inning, he let 1 hit, 1 run, which was earned, and a walk and 2 strikeouts, and was able to even get the manager ejected and one of their players ejected. But he was arguing a ball and strike that to me looked like it was a pretty clear strike. It was a great position. It was really what you want the ball to be, and I think he was kind of getting lucky on some of those stuff. But hey, a win is a win. 9 innings pitched, 8 hits allowed on 5 runs scored with 4 walks and 12 total strikeouts. 8 coming from Wheeler, 2 from Keller, even though he struggled. 1 from Alvarado, 1 from Kirkring. On the other side, Perez really was pitching really well until he wasn't. He really had him off until he had to pitch out of stretch. 5 innings, pitched 4 hits, 2 runs. Both of them earned 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Then Gibson came in and really kind of imploded in 1 2/3 of an inning. He let up 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and that one a strikeout. And the one is the 3-run jack from Bryson Stott. Bachar came in for 2 1/3 innings and just blanked them at that point. He couldn't allow the Phillies to get any more runs, but the damage was done 6-1, just enough to hold on for a 6-5 victory. Let's go through in the scoring moments here for you. It started in the bottom of the first when Xavier Edwards doubles and Otto Lopez scores, making it 1-0 Miami, and it would stay that way into the top of the fourth until Alec Boehm singles on a line drive to center field, and Brandon Marsh would score, moving Stott over to third, making a 1-1 game, and then a double from Justin Crawford would score Bryson Stott and move Alec Boehm over to third, and then they would stay that way until about the 7th inning when Amundo Sosa would single and Bryce Harper would score, and then Bryson Stott came up, hit a 3-run. It was like a towering home run. Like it looked like they might have caught it at the track, like it went too high up in there, but it went right over the wall. 3-run home run for Bryson Stott, scoring himself, Brandon Marsh, and Amundo Sosa, making it a 6-1 victory. But the Miami Marlins would not go quietly into that good night. In the bottom of the 8th, Otto Lopez singles again. Kyle Stowers, who was the guy who was ejected, for making it 6-2. And then it was 6-3 after Liam Hicks would have a sacrifice fly and Stowers would score. And then they would keep it up with Ramirez singling, and then Otto Lopez would score, making it 6-4. And it would stay that way into the 9th inning when Otto Lopez again did really well for them tonight. Kept the Marlins into it, scoring Javier Sanoja. I don't even know how to say his name. I don't know him that well. Making it 6-5, but that would not be enough for your Miami Marlins to beat your fighting Phils. And like I said, Otto Lopez had a heck of a night tonight. I mean, better than any of one Philly did. He was 3 for 5 on the night with 2 runs, scored 2 RBIs. He's one of their better hitters, batting .333. Him and Edwards at .331, and Hicks is batting at .309. So they have some guys who can hit. So this is not going to be an easy series, and it was a great win. It was great to get Zach another win today. I mean, I guess he didn't get a win the first night, right? Because they won, but he didn't get the win. So technically, his first win on the series. Sanoha. Okay, Sanoha. All right. Thank you. I am no good at that. What do you think the Flyers are getting a couple days before the next series? Because I don't think they want them to rest that long, and it might play in the favor of the Flyers a little bit. I know we're getting off topic here, but it might play in the favor of the Flyers because they're going to still be a little warmed up. The other guys are going to be resting for a week almost, if not longer. I don't even know how long it's been. Runners in scoring position for the Phillies tonight were 4 for 11. Not as terrible as it usually is, but not great either. Like 30%, 30-some%. Left 7 on base. Even though runners in scoring position was 4 for 8 tonight for Miami, it was not enough because they left 8 on base. Just 1 too many on base, which caused the Phillies to hold on for a 6-5 victory in the game and keep that 4-0 that 4-game win streak alive and keep making Don Mattingly 4-0 as a Phillies manager. He still has not earned that loss yet, which is a wonderful thing to say. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, but I just really love to see how this all continues to turn out. All right, guys. Broad Street Bottom Line. For those who are new to the program, as my old buddy would, my old cohort in a podcast would call it. We are going to the bottom line tonight. Bottom line is the Phillies continue to win after changing managers, and Don Mattingly has definitely, I don't know, at least been a culture shock, if you want to call it, to the locker room. Showed a little change, and the right change is needed. So far, 4 games, 4 wins. That's great. Let's see. There's still a bit of a hole for them to dig out. The one big thing is Brandon Marsh did take a shot to the right elbow, so hopefully he is good to go tomorrow. But I have a feeling that's going to swell up like a mother. So we'll see how that goes. But bottom line is, this does look like a different team that's exciting to watch again. There's still plenty of deficits to worry about with this team, but as of right now, enjoy the ride. You got the Phillies playing well. You have the Flyers starting their second round, and the Sixers trying to force the second round. So enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Maybe that's my Broad Street bottom line number 2. Enjoy the ride. There's no reason to enjoy the highs as much as we suffer the lows. I mean, could it become crashing down at one point? Sure. But enjoy the ride. Frying Toppy made the Philly sports scene catch fire. Yeah, the entire Philly sports scene, like the Flyers, everybody just caught fire. Whatever. I mean, I hate putting that kind of on somebody, but timing does not look good when talking about it. But that is my bottom line. And let's take a trip around the bases. All right, guys, so that trip around the bases, what's that mean? We're going to look at all the games that are either going on or done for the evening of May 1st. That's right, we're in May 2026. How the time does truly fly around here. Toronto is in the bottom of the 9th, up 7-3 over Minnesota. The Apple TV game tonight is Pittsburgh and Cincinnati in Pittsburgh, up 9-1 right now in the bottom of the 8th. St. Louis is up 7-2 over Los Angeles Dodgers in the top of the 8th. The Rockies are up 6-2 over the Atlanta Braves, which is good news for us. The top of the 8th, so hopefully they can hold on and give them a loss tonight, which would make tonight even sweeter because that means they lost. Miami will lose. Let's see. The Mets are down 3-0 to the Angels in going into the bottom of the 5th. So if they can hold on, that means we'll be only. Or actually, I have to look at Washington. I can't say that yet. It only leaves Washington left to find out if they are, how it helps us, keep moving up the ranks a little bit. The A's are up 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th over Cleveland. The White Sox are up 6-0 over San Diego in the bottom of the 4th in San Diego. The other Apple TV game is Kansas City over Seattle, is winning over Seattle in the bottom of the 4th, 4-2 in Seattle. And final on the day. Chicago Cubs beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 6-5. Hey, just like we did to Miami. Detroit lost to Texas Rangers 5-4 in Detroit. Washington lost. Okay, great. So Washington lost 6-1 over to Milwaukee. New York Yankees won 7-2. And Boston won 3-1. They are now sitting at 13-19, just like us, after changing their manager. Tampa Bay beat San Fran 3-0. So they're on a 4-game losing streak, and they are now sitting at 13-19, going backwards. And, of course, the Phillies, 6-5 winners over the Miami Marlins. So if everything holds on to where it's at, Phillies will be the only NL East team to win tonight. That would be a huge coup for us Phillies fans because what's Washington at right now? They'll be 15-18. Okay. All right. All good news for us. So that is your trip around the bases, guys. And that is about it for tonight. It's been a long night, a little over almost an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate you guys. A lot of Philly sports to talk about on Sunday because tomorrow we got 7:30 Sixers game, 8 o'clock Flyers game, 4 o'clock. So you got 4 o'clock Phillies, 7:30 Sixers, 8 o'clock Flyers. So a lot of Philly sports going on tomorrow. That means a lot for me and Mike to talk about Philly AM sports on Sunday, as well as, let's see, do they have who's on the call for tomorrow? I don't know. I think tomorrow it is Maddie B, I believe, on the call tomorrow. It's not, I don't have it. Yeah, Joe, I'm going to try to open up the phone lines again next Friday. I kind of didn't think I was going to have a lot of time, but a little time went on in between there. I didn't think I was going to go a whole hour before this start, or an hour and 10 minutes almost before this started, but it did. So I will get back to the phone lines, I promise you. But I think Maddie B is on the call for the Flyers post game tomorrow. And I guess Mike is, I'm trying to see who, here it is. Marlins. Oh, maybe, is he doing both? Maybe he's doing both. Maybe Maddie B is double dutying it tomorrow, doing the Saturday game and the Sunday game, as well as the Flyers post game. So other than that, Maddie B is being real lazy this weekend. Guy's a workhorse. Gotta love it. Here's the rest of the week's lineup. The Flyers Pens game is not necessary, but the Flyers Hurricanes game is necessary, so that's awesome. And then tomorrow, or Sunday's Philly AM Sports, Phillies and Marlins. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you for joining me. Maddie B is doing the Phillies. I think Mike is doing the Flyers. I have a feeling I think Mike is not doing the Flyers. I have a feeling it's not, but I will let you know. But other than that, guys, have a great evening. I will see you all next time.